6 2 4 8 3 9 6. Is this number divisible by 2? Yes, it is divisible by 2. Why? Because the last digit is divisible by 2. Okay, so the number is divisible by 2. Okay, it is divisible by 2. Right? Now, let's look at the question. Let's look at 3. How do you say a number is divisible by 3? Let's say 1, 4, 6, 8. Is it divisible by 3? How do you do that? You add up these digits. You add up the digits. And if this sum is divisible by 3, then we say it is divisible by 3. Okay, 14 plus 4, 18 plus 1, 19. The sum is 19. So it is not divisible by 3. Okay. So I think most of the important divisibilities are 2, 3, 5, then, powers of 2. I think what we'll do is let's look at 2 here, and then 3 we have seen. Before we get into something else, let's look at 4. 4 is what? 4 is actually 2 squared. Okay, so what is the divisibility of, is this number divisible by 4? How do you say whether this number is divisible by 4? One, you don't have to divide everything. You look only, because see, the power here is 2. Okay, so what you do is look at only the last 2 digits. If this last 2 digits is divisible by 4, then this number is divisible by 4. In this case, 96. 96, this whole number 96 is divisible by 4. Is divisible by 4. So which means this whole number is divisible by 4. Okay. 2 is to the power 1. So we looked at only the last digits. 4 is 2 to the power 2. So we looked at the last 2 digits. Now, logically, for how do you check up whether it is divisible by 8? 8 is 2 cubed. So what do? We look at only the last 3 digits. Okay, last 3 digits. So if last 3 digits is divisible by 8, then we say it is divisible by 8. So now let's check that up. 396. We're looking only at 396. 396 divided by 8. Is it divisible? It is not divisible. This is not divisible, which means this whole number is not divisible by 8. Okay. Now, 8. So now when it, so how do you make it? Now the next question will be, what is a remainder when it is divisible by 8? So we don't have to go you don't have to go anywhere. We just know we divide 396 by 8. What is the remainder? The remainder is actually 4. Okay, when you divide 396 by 8, 396 by 8, you get 8 4s are 32, remainder 7, and then you get 8 9s are 72. The remainder is actually 392. You get, the remainder is 4. Okay, 4 is the remainder. So suppose somebody tells you find the remainder when you divide this whole thing by 8. What do? You take only the last 3 digits, because we know it is 2 cube. Okay, 2 cube. So we take only the last 3 digits, divide that by 8, and we get a remainder 4. So, so then similarly here. Okay, now 30. Now here, what is the remainder when you divide by 3? What do? Divide 19 by 3. What is the remainder? Remainder is 1. Okay, remainder is 1. So this whole number 1468 divided by 3, remainder is 1. Okay, so this works out always. Okay, the rule you as per the rule you go, you'll be able to find the remainder also. So now suppose I change this number and let's make it let me change this and make it let's say 390. For that, so I'll make it 400. Okay, I'll make it 400. So can you tell me whether it is divisible by 32? How will you know whether this number is divisible by 32? So 32 is what? 2 raised to 5. Okay, which means I need to take the last 5 digits. What are the last 5 digits? 48400. And 4840 I need to divide by 32. If I divide and get something, so 16, it gets divided. The answer is 16. 32 into 5 is 160. So 400. Okay, 48 64, not divisible. Okay, this is not divisible. This is not divisible by 32. And the remainder comes here as 16. Okay, remainder comes here as 16, which means this whole number, when you divide by 32, the remainder is 16. It is not divisible by 32 because you're taking only the last 5 digits. And it is not divisible by 16, and the remainder is 16 because 48400 divided by 32, remainder is 16. So this is the divisibility rule. You don't have to go beyond these 4. I mean, this you need to understand. Okay, this you just need to understand. This is the divisibility rules, because application of the divisibility rules come somewhere along the way. Okay. Now 3 we know what is the divisibility rule. What is the divisibility rule for 3? Similarly, we look for 9 also. Okay, let's say number is 17296. Divisibility rule for 3. What we say? We add up all the digits. So 1 plus 7, 8 plus 2, 10 plus 9 plus 6, 25. It is not divisible by 3. What is the remainder? So the question could be, okay, now I'm looking at a question. What should be added to this number 17296 to make it a multiple of 3? What should be added? So which means we need to find the remainder first. Okay, so what is the remainder? 1 plus 7, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, 19, 25. The sum is 25. Okay. Now what is going to be the remainder? The remainder is 25 divided by 3. The remainder is 1. Then 25 divided by 3, it goes 8 times, and the remainder is 1. So remainder is 1. Which means what should be added to 17298 to make it a multiple of 3? The remainder you need to add. The remainder is 1. If you add 2 to it, it becomes 3. So it becomes exactly divisible, which means to this number also you add 2. Did you understand this? Remainder is 1. So to make it a multiple of 3, what did I do? I added 2. Added 2 here. Okay, so which means it became 3. And when it becomes 3, then it is divisible by 3. So obviously to this number also you add 2. So the new number is actually 17298. This 17298 is exactly divisible by 3. You check that out. You add it up. 1 plus 7, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 9, 19, 19 plus 8, 27. So 27 is divisible by 3. So it's exactly divisible. Okay. So that is the rule for 3. Now what is the rule for 9? 3 and 9 we need to know. Okay. What is the rule for 9? The same rule. You add up all those digits and you get 27. Is 27 divisible by 9? Yes. Yes. So obviously this whole number is also divisible by 9. So rule for 3 and 9 is the same. You add up all the digits and divide by 3. It's divisible. Or you can find the remainder. Or you can find what should be added to get the to make it an exact multiple. For example, let me change this number to something else. Okay, I'm changing this number to something else. Okay, suppose I make this, let's say, 4, 12794. What should be added to make it a multiple of 9? Now the question is, what should be added to 17294 to make it a multiple of 9? So what do? Add up this whole thing, which I get 13, 215, 16, 23. So I get 23. Okay, so 23 divided by 9, what is the remainder? 5. So 23 is the sum. I divide that by 9 and I get the remainder as 5. 5, I get the remainder as 5. But then to make it divisible by 9, what should I do? I should add 5 here. I should add 4 here. Okay, then that becomes 9 and it is divisible. So which means here also I need to add 4. Okay, so the number becomes 17. Obviously it comes back to this number 17298, which is the number which I changed. Okay, so that's how 17298. So that makes it divisible by 9. So the rule for 2, rule for 3, rule for 9, and then 2 squared, 2 cube, all those things we learned. And there's one more rule for 5. What is the rule for 5? The rule for 5 is the last digit should either be 0 or 5. For example, 16270 is divisible by 5. 16275. The last digit should either be 0 or 5. Okay, so this is the rule for these are the major ones that you generally come across. 2, 4, then 8, then you have 3, 9, and then there is one more. which I think I'll go slowly because this is important. Others, I think most of the people know these things. So I will just go through rule for 11. 11 is very important. Okay, rule for 11. So let's take a number, any number. Let's say randomly we'll take this 1, 7, 2, 9. Let's take this number. Let's take it as 5. Let's take this as 3. Okay. No, take this as 2. Okay. Now, is this number divisible by 11? So what we do is, I'll just listen carefully. I take the odd positions. Okay, the odd positions, and then I take the even positions. Okay. So the odd positions are 1, 2, and 2. Add them up. How much do I get? I get 5 here. Okay, I get 5 here. I'm adding the positions to the odd position. Now I'm adding the ones in the even portions. How much is that? 16. Okay, 16 is the even portions and the odd portions is 5. Find the difference. What is the difference? 16 minus 5 is 11, which is a multiple of this. The difference should either be 0 or a multiple of 11. If that is the case, then it is divisible by 11. I'll explain this once again. You take odd positions, all the ones in the odd positions, okay, and all the ones in the even positions. Find the sum. I've taken that here, 16 and 5. Okay, 16 and then 5. Find the difference, which is 11. Or it could be 0 also. Let's take a number like, I think some of the numbers which is 1331. We have seen that. What is 1331? We know it is divisible by 11. So you take the even portions. What is that? 4. It is 4. Odd, the odd portions is 4. Even portions 4. What is the difference? 4 minus 4, 0. So this whole number is divisible by 11. That's it. I mean, if you go through the book, you'll find rule for 7, rule for 19, and all those things. Not important. 11 is important. 2 is important. 3 is important. 9 is important. And powers of 2. 2 squared, 2 raised to 3. These are important. That's all. These divisible rules are more than enough. Others are too complex. If you know this, more than enough. Okay. So along with the divisibility rules, we have also found out how to find the remainder. Okay, and how to add up something to find out to get the number when it is exactly divisible. Okay. Now, one small concept before you start solving the problems is remainder. Okay, remainder. So, right now, one very important rule to solve problems fast is remainders can be added and multiplied. Okay, added and added, or basically, okay, added and multiplied. Now this is, I'll explain this further. Okay, let's take some number like a random number, like let's say 47 into 49 into 51 into, let's say, 45. Okay, now I'm dividing this whole thing. Okay, oh God. Right. Now 49, 47. Okay, now I'm dividing this by 48. I'll divide this by another number. Let's say I'll divide this by 43. Okay, I'm dividing this by 43. Okay, now I need to find the remainder. Okay, what is the remainder when I multiply these values? And so one way is how would you go about doing it? One way doing it is you multiply 45 into 47 into 49 into 51. Use a calculator, then divide by 43. That is not, you don't have to do that. Okay, you can take the individual remainders. Now, whatever we've learned now is something which a lot of people know, except probably 11, a lot of people don't know. But these things are very important, which is something which you might not know. So listen carefully. Take the individual remainders. What are the individual remainders? What is the remainder here? 45 divided by 43, remainder is 2, right? How about 47? Remainder is 4. How about 49? Remainder is 6. And what is the remainder? 43, it is 8. Okay, right? Now you multiply all the remainders, and you multiply all the remainders and again divided by 43. That will give you the remainder. Okay, that will give you the final remainder. Okay, that means your remainders can be multiplied. Individual remainders can be multiplied. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so which means 8 into 6, 48. 48 into 4 is how much? 192. 192 into 2 is 384. 384 divided by 8. 384 divided by 43. 384 divided by 43 will give you a remainder. That will be the remainder of this whole thing. Okay, I can do it still faster. How can I do it? I can split into 2 because this rule works everywhere, isn't it? So which means I take this 2 into 4, 6 into 8. 6 into 8 is what? 48. So I actually, now this becomes 8 into 48 divided by 43. 8 divided by 43, what is the remainder? 8. That you have seen, a smaller number divided by larger number, remainder is always 8. Now you have 48 divided by 43. What is the remainder? 5. So what is the final remainder? Final remainder is 40. 8 into 5, 40. 40 is the final remainder is 40. You see how powerful this becomes? If instead of this, if it is plus, if there is all plus here, okay, what do? 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8. So you have 8 plus 6, 14, 14 plus 4, 18, 18 plus 2, 20. So 20 divided by 43. Remainder is 20. Okay. So what we can do, this is something which is important. The individual remainders can be taken and can be either multiplied or divided to find out the final remainder. Okay. So I've talked to you about the divisibility rules, and I've talked to you how remainders can be added or subtracted. We'll work out these problems. Before that, I'll just discuss one small concept about remainders, and then we'll work out the problems. I think we need to spend time on solving some problems. Okay. One small concept about remainders. Let's take a remainder. Let's take 65 divided by 9. Okay. What is a remainder? Remainder, it goes 7 times, becomes 63. The remainder is 2. Okay, the remainder is 2. This is something which we know, which is something which is very conventional. We know the remainder is 2. Okay, right? Remainder 2. What does the concept of remainder mean? The remainder means 2. Means if you subtract 2 from 65, that means remainder is 2 means 65 is a number minus the remainder should give you a multiple of 9, isn't it? That's what it means, isn't it? Remainder is something which is extra to a multiple. So 65 minus r, the remainder, what is that? If you take that, 65 minus 2 is 63. So 65 minus 2 is 63, which is a multiple of 9. Okay. Now that is the remaining of remainder. Okay. Now there is a very important concept of a negative remainder. Okay. This is a positive remainder. This is a positive remainder. This is a positive remainder. I need a very important concept of a negative remainder. What is a negative remainder? Negative remainder is something which, let's say 2 plus 7 will give you 9, isn't it? If you have a remainder here, 2 plus 7 will give you a 9. So the negative remainder is minus 7. Okay. 2 plus 7 gives you 9. So you take minus 7. Minus 7 is a negative remainder. What do you mean by a remainder? You subtract the remainder from this number. You should be able to get a multiple of 9, isn't it? So let's try doing that. 65 minus 7. What is that? The 65 plus 7, which is what? A 72. So 72 is also a multiple of 9. So which means you can, for any number, when you get a remainder, you can always get a negative remainder, which is minus 7, a negative remainder as well as a positive remainder. Okay. And that sometimes this negative remainder becomes very powerful. Okay. It helps you a lot to solve problems. So that's the reason that I'm introducing the concept of a negative remainder. For example, let's take any number. Let's take a number like, 123 divided by, let's say, 10. I'm dividing by 10. So what is the negative, what is the positive remainder? remainder I know is 3. Okay, which means if I subtract 3 from this, I get 120. So what is the positive remainder? What is the negative remainder? It is minus 7. Because 3 plus 7 will give you 10. So you take minus 7 as a negative remainder. So what is the negative? What do you do by negative remainder? 123 minus of minus 7 is equal to 130, which is also a multiple of 10. Okay, so for any time when you divide, you'll get two remainders, a negative remainder as well as a positive remainder. And this is something which is very important. For example, there are problems. I'll show you. I'll just solve a problem for you, which will help you to understand how the negative remainder becomes helpful for you. Okay, let's take a number like 389 into 388 into 387 into 386 divided by 13. What is the remainder? Or I'll take it as 391, 392. I'll remove this. Okay, removing this. Okay, now I'm dividing this whole thing by 13. What is the remainder? Now we have seen now the positive remainders. We have seen 390 is a multiple of 390 is a multiple of 13. Okay, it means this is a exact multiple, which means we know that at 390 there is no remainder. Okay, so which means 390 is not there, so obviously it cannot be divided. So what is that? 391, what is the remainder? The remainder is 1. 392, what is the remainder? 2. 389, what is the remainder? Remainder, we know it is 1 less than 390, so obviously it should be 12. Okay, remainder is 12. And here the remainder is 11. Okay, but we can take, instead of taking 12, because now you have to multiply 12 into 11 into 1 into 2, large numbers. So what we'll do is we'll take a negative remainder. Okay, instead of 12, what is the negative remainder? The negative remainder, we can take it as minus 1. We have seen that. We can take it as minus 1. And here you can take it as minus 2. Okay, instead of taking a positive remainder, we can say, we have seen that we can also take a negative remainder, which means now you multiply. What is that? Minus 2 into minus 1, minus 2 into minus 1, into 1 into 2. Now the whole thing becomes very easy. The remainder is what? This minus 1 into minus 2 is 2, and this into 2. The remainder is actually 4. Remainder is 4. Because it becomes far more easier. Otherwise, what you'll have to do? You'll have to multiply 12 into 11, 132. So what this becomes 132. So 132 divided by 130, remainder is 2. And here the remainder is 2. So 2 into 2, 4. That way also you can do it. Take it into parts. We have seen that how in the last problem we saw how we took it into parts. Okay, so that is the power of a negative remainder. And there are many problems where the negative remainder becomes very, very important. So that's the reason I introduced the concept of a negative remainder.